The experts tell us the Massachusetts economy is in recovery, even if that recovery is once again slowing down. But for many young people in Boston, the outlook's more gloomy, especially if there's no summer job. That's one reason for the demonstration last week by more than 100 young people in downtown Boston, organized by the Youth Jobs Coalition. Our guest is one of its youth leaders, and he's also active with the Dorchester Bay Youth Force. We'd like to welcome Marquel Wade-Mosley. Thank you very much for being with us, Marquel.
No problem. Glad to be here.
First of all, start with your role. What were you doing as a youth leader in all this?
Well, so it started off with planning the event, of course, like who's going to go down to these individual private sectors places. So I went down to Ernst & Young down by Back Bay, and I basically handed them a letter saying, we noticed that you don't hire teens. We would like to have a meeting with someone from the HR department, human resource department that works on hiring people, or someone from the presidential office. And then after that, we all gathered outside Putnam Investments and rallied. And my job, and me and a fellow youth leader, his name is Billy, we both were MCs. We hosted that rally and let people know why we was there.
You did some research about companies who either did offer summer jobs to teens or who did not.
Well, my boss Carlos did the research, but that's what we told him.
Right. Well, what about what these companies ought to be doing? Because I know with Putnam Investments, they said they don't have any meaningful opportunities for teenagers. Are there things that a teen living in Boston could be doing at some of these companies where they're contributing even though they're also learning the ropes?
It's funny because Putnam actually stated that they don't have jobs that are suitable for teens. But I did some research in Ernst & Young, exactly. Their interns, their paid interns make $4,000 a month, and they make $30 an hour. And I calculate that's like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours probably a day. And the things that you can learn from private sector's company as far as moral responsibilities, how businesses ran, office management, probably business management, finance, those things can help you later on in life to work in a well-developed economy.
What about your own experience? You've had summer jobs for a couple of years now?
Yeah, same place.
What have you been doing?
I've been, well, in the beginning, before it starts, I work with Dorchester Bay, and we do this program with a whole bunch of Jewish kids who come from all different areas across the U.S., and we call it Impact Boston. They come here, we teach them about community organizing. After that, last year, it was the presidential election. So we was going down, door knocking, getting people to vote, basically working on voter turnout. Because while working here, I noticed that the communities that have a higher voter turnout rate, they get more attention looked at to them by politicians.
And when you were door knocking, what went on? I mean, people weren't home all the time, but I guess occasionally you had to talk to someone.
Yeah, that was probably the most scariest moment, my first door knocking, when this lady came out and she automatically was just like, nothing's gonna change. And I was like, but man, there's always a chance for a change. It's just you have to be willing to seek that change. So in order to change a big picture, you have to change yourself first.
And that means you got her to register, or at least to tell you that if she was registered already, that she was going to get out there and do some voting.
Definitely.
It was good for her. What about the other part of this? Because you had to also go up to get the governor to do more. I mean, the governor has been, I get the message from the governor is that I've been helping with youth jobs, but I guess you want him to do more.
Yeah, there was a action that he spoke at. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but he stated that they asked him if he was with them in this. He said, we are all in this together. The whole piece, the action was that we are tied together. So they talked about budget cuts as far as like public transportation, school resources, summer jobs. And he was like, we all got to get through this together. And the one thing that stuck out to me is that my boss told me that he had actually released a budget plan, which was giving us a numerous amount of money, which was pretty much putting his neck on the line.
And so, given that, do you think you could ask the governor to do even more?
Yeah. And noticing that we just won 19 million jobs, there still are jobs out there that aren't hiring teens. So that means there's still less people working, which means there's still less money the city could be generating. Like through me, like going to school and understanding how society works and working with this organization, I realized that the more people you have working, the more people making money. The more people that are spending money, meaning things are being bought, money is going up, and that's more money in cycle.
You know, I can't help noticing your jacket there. I've been around a lot of athletes, and you're a competitor with the Charlestown High debate team.
Yes.
Now, does that have anything to do with your summer job experiences, maybe?
It has something to do with my perspective on it, because I am working with a community organization that's nonprofit. So I see how things get changed as far as people going out to reaching out to their constituents and realizing that, hey, this is a problem, we need to work on this together. And so debate helped me realize that there are always two sides to the argument. So I hear this side, so now later on in life, I'm probably gonna work with someone who's running for office or something, so I can see their side of the argument, see how both ends of the table way out.
Well, talk about how you think this campaign affected people, because on the one hand, you have the governor. Do you see the governor and by extension, the state legislature doing anything that tells you that they're responding or they're doing something different?
Personally, I say they disagree a lot. If there's a lot of disagreement in a place that we're supposed to look up to for answers, then the people are going to be disagreeing. So if you have, metaphorically speaking, let's say you have a head of a household, two people leading the house. They're disagreeing all the time. They don't know what they want to do. Then you're going to have everybody else in the house disagreeing because one believes in one thing, the other one believes in something else. So in reality, everybody's just disagreeing and not really seeking the solution, but as a whole, but they're seeking a solution to their own problems. What
about the effect on businesses? They don't have to run for election, so maybe it's harder to make a business change what it does.
We got Fidelity to hire teens, which was very, for me, it meant a lot because I was there at that action where we all lined up outside of Fidelity. We gave them these mock resumes. The name was Joanne Jobless, and every resume was the same. So we'll walk up to the door, oh, here you go, here's my resume to do. Like, oh, thank you. Then we'll go back to the line, to the end of the line, get another one, and then walk back up, and so on, until eventually they closed the door on us. And this was last year in February. And when they closed the door, there was just one teen who was just really felt like, oh, he just pushed me out of the way, just closed the door in our faces. That means he really doesn't care. Like, he probably only did this to say, like, hey, I took the resumes, like, you know. And in actuality, they ended up hiring teens. So which goes to show you if Fidelity can turn around and hire teens, Putnam Investment can too.
Why should they hire teens?
Because let's think about it. Teens aren't hired, then they're more likely to get involved with negativity. And
if they're not hired.
Yeah, and if we know negativity is bad, keyword negative. But let's say they are hired. Now, working in a fast food restaurant, what really can you learn? Nothing really. But if you work in this place where you always got to dress up in a suit and tie every day, you learn how to be professional. You learn how to be somewhere on time. You learn how to create a schedule, and you learn how businesses ran. You learn the things that go on inside of a business. You learn that you have, especially with people that do taxes, you learn about people who make loans, auditors. You learn all these different aspects about one company. It can also open the doors for what you want to do.
I mean, what about yourself? What do you want to do beyond high school?
Beyond high school, I want to run track because I was recently city champion in the high jump. And
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not. And I also want to business management. I want to double major, business management and finance and marketing.
Right. Well, thank you very much for being with us. Marquel Wade-Mosley from the Youth Job Coalition.